about New Jersey? This is the center of what?
Electronics. Back in the 50s and 60s, the electronics industry, the world's electronics industry, was centered in New Jersey, Long Island, and this northeastern area. And this is where the transistor was invented in Morris Plains, New Jersey. The world's first telecommunications satellite, Telstar, came from RCA in Morris Plains, New Jersey. Bell Labs in Morris Plains, New Jersey. They invented the transistor, the world's first telecommunications satellite. The cell phone, they developed the first cell phone. They also developed the touch-tone phone system with the different tones. And there was a bunch of other inventions. All came out of Bell Labs.
And so your dad worked in this industry?
My dad worked in this industry all my life, and all his life. And I saw him bring things home. He would bring home extra work. He would bring home these printed circuit boards, and they had 50 transistors on them. And he would pay me 25 cents a quarter for each transistor just to put them onto the board. And then he would bend the leads and solder them all off, right? And he showed me this machine one time. They had this resistor with had the wire leads that were straight. And in those days, you had to take it, you had to bend it by hand with a special pair of pliers, put it into the board, and then go on the other side of the board, bend them over. It was a skill. You really had to know how to do this. You bend over the thing and cut it at just the right length so it wasn't too short. And then you had to solder it. And all of that was done by hand. My dad did that, my mom did that, and my dad showed me how to do this too. And then sometime in the late 60s, early 70s, he showed me this machine that his company invented. The company was Boonton Electronics. Boonton, B-O-O-N-T-O-N, Boonton Electronics. They invented this machine. They would load the resistors into this thing, and all it did was bend the leads at the right angle, the right length. That's all it did. And that's just like a modern invention. Wow. Now you can just take them and stick them in the board without having to bend them, Because if you bent it too much, it would be ruined, So it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And now of course they have these wave solder machines where all this stuff comes on a reel, like a tape, and you just feed it into the machine and it all does it automatically, right? So, but and so northeastern America, New Jersey, New York, all this area was the world center of the electronics industry where all this was invented and they were building all this stuff. But by the 70s and 80s, they were outsourcing it so much that China and all these other countries became the market, the vendors, the suppliers for all this stuff. And so this is one of the reasons why American industry, the electronics industry, just declined rapidly.
Are you seeing a resurgence now?
And now it seems like in the past 10 years there's a resurgence. I'm surprised to hear that. Where you see all these electronics companies are actually doing stuff here. So I don't know what, if it's economics or what's driving that, but apparently there's a resurgence in the electronics industry, yeah.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah. Pretty cool.